Hey there, it's me again. It's Monday. It's time for me to go through my vinyl once again. So it's my A to Z of my vinyl collection. Just going through it for something to do on my channel. Might be of interest to some people, you never know. Right, so it's the third show, part 3, and I've gone on to C. So let's see what we can see in my C, shall we? Yes, let's do that. So starting off, Cadaver. It's a nice gruesome album cover. Hallucinating Anxiety. Now I think some people have got this album as like a double album with another band on the other side. It's like a split, like a double album with 2 different bands on it. I can't remember what the other band is that most people have got though. Oh, I know, as soon as I come try and remember things I forget. I can never try and do things on the top of my head. Yeah, but I haven't. I've just got the album as it's on its own. Just the Cadaver album on its own. Carnage. I think it's like a split album with Carnage. A lot of people have got that, I believe. I know at least my old drummer used to have that. But yeah, I've only got this one. But yeah, Cadaver, I've always been very keen on Cadaver. All their albums have been different as well. They're a very unique band with lots of variety as they've gone from album to album, actually. And this is the second album, In Pain. This is a lot different. This is the change from one album to the next is bloody astronomical. This one is like some heavier, sludgy, nasty as hell. And this one's a lot more refined and like technical death metal. It's got a cello player on it as well. They actually went on tour with this one. They played in Walthamstow. The Royal Standard in Walthamstow is the gig on sort of same day that Blasphemy and Gore Guts were playing just down the road at the George Robey in Finsbury Park, literally about 3 stops down the road. So I went to Finsbury Park, George Robey for the beginning of the day to see bands like Dusty Filed, Desecration, the first time I saw those bands. Zeus was another band I'm playing on the day. Quite a few bands there, but then I buggered off to come and see Cadaver because I like Cadaver. I mean, I like Blasphemy, I like Gore Guts, but I like Cadaver more, so I had to go and see Cadaver. This is back in 1993, I think. I've got a t-shirt of this as well. It's quite rare. I don't think I've seen that many t-shirts with this design. Kind of not exactly the same, but yeah, it's got the eyeball logo on it on the t-shirt. Anyway, it's one of my favourite t-shirts. One of my favourite bands, Cadaver. I've got a couple of CDs as well. One of my favourite tracks ever by anybody is their song "Decomposed Metal Skin" on the I can't remember the name of the album it's on now, but it's a bloody good album. Anyway, right, yeah, UK death metal, Cancer. Right, this is Death Shall Rise, isn't it? Yeah, Death Shall Rise. Because I was looking at the Baphomet one last week, and it was Dead Shall Inherit, and I was saying, oh, it's called Death Shall Rise. It's not, no, this one is Death Shall Rise. Yeah, another great bloody album. One of the top UK death metal band. I thought I'd change the room that I did this video in this week, so I wouldn't get so much glare. But I get so much glare in here as I do in the bloody kitchen. I thought because I'm in here without any windows open, you won't get so much reflection. But yeah, you get any reflection on there. But never mind. It's a cool bloody album cover as well. Pretty cool. Right then, more Cancer. Big change in the album style. Well, not the music style, but in the cover art style. It's quite a lot different. This looks like an old painting of some sort. I dare say it is taken from some painting. Not quite as in your face death metal as the other one, but still a pretty cool cover and a bloody good album as well. Right, now some French. Oh no, this is the character. I thought this was something else for a second. Yeah, it's not. This is Candlemass. This is Candlemass. I was looking at the back and for some reason I was thinking it was somebody else. I can't remember the other person I think it was now. The French band. Oh, such a crap memory. Anyway, but this is Candlemass, Epicus, Doomicus, Metallicus. To be honest, I've forgotten that was the back cover of it. Because that doesn't ring any bells. Looking at that, it looks like, I don't know, I just didn't really, I don't remember that being the back cover. Obviously everyone knows the front cover. That's an iconic metal cover. Simple, but you know, really memorable. But that, I was like, what the hell? That looks like something completely different. But yeah, quality album. But of course, more Candlemass, Nightfall. Nightfall! That's a different Nightfall. I've seen Nightfall by a different band there. Yeah, never mind. I can't remember the band is because my brain is crap. Oh, I won't try and remember things. Let me just show you things I can read, so I haven't got to try and remember, because remembering is too difficult for me. Right, Candlemass Live. I get the feeling these aren't in order actually. Candlemass Live is a double album, recorded Stockholm in 1990. So that's a pretty good era for the band. Gatefold, some interesting pictures on the inside there. Here we go. This is the first Candlemass album that I got. It's not many people's favourites, but it's not necessarily my favourite. It may be though. But you know what it's like when the first album that gets you into a band can quite often be your favourite by them. And I know a lot of people slated this at the time, but I remember when I first discovered Candlemass, I was on a holiday in the Netherlands. We was in Groningen. And it was the last night. Me and my dad had been out on the piss every night, as you do. I don't know. Actually, I can't know if I was with my stepmum as well. No, it was just me and my dad. And I don't know. I was only about 16 or so at the time, but we were still out on the piss because, you know, they don't mind that over there. They tend to let you drink whatever you like. But it was the last night, and we had to go home early so we could get up for the plane the next day. But as I was walking back to go home, I heard fucking heavy metal coming out of a blinking down an alleyway. So we went down the alleyway and we saw this metal pub called The Stir. I've been back to it a few times subsequently. It's closed down now. But this was obviously when I was 16. This is 32 years ago, so 2/3 of my lifetime ago this is. But yeah, and I was in there and someone played Candlemass, and I said to the guy who was chatting to, who's this? This is cool. And he said, oh, it's Candlemass. So came home and bought Candlemass album. So that's how I discovered Candlemass. Yeah, Tales of Creation, another Candlemass classic, another gatefold. Nothing to write home about in the gatefold. No awesome art, just some lyrics. Right, yeah, and another Candlemass album. This one wasn't so highly regarded. It had a new singer came in. I thought it was cool though. I quite liked this album. I remember seeing them touring it. I think it was at the show I played at the Marquee in London on this tour with that singer. And yeah, I enjoyed it. Got some cool tracks on this one. Right then. Now moving on, we've got Cannibal Corpse. Yeah, you can't have a C without Cannibal Corpse now, can you? The classic Eaten Back to Life. That is right, isn't it? I don't want to get the things wrong. I'm not trying to do things from memory. Yeah, Eaten Back to Life. Then we have Tomb of the Mutilated. I think Butchered at Birth. I've got that on CDs. I don't think I'm missing out there. I have got most of the Cannibal Corpse catalogue. There we go. The Bleeding. Probably the most boring Candlemass cover. Cannibal Corpse cover, to be honest. Yeah, not much to write home about that cover, is there really? Just some bloody sheets or something. Must try harder. In fact, the back cover is a lot better than the front cover on that one. I get the feeling maybe it was censored or something. Yeah, that's typical. Would be typical, wouldn't it? Right, this one, Carbonized. Got the corner cut off it. Carbonized. I bought this on one of those second-hand record shops. They used to have a lot of those around. I always go in there, buy loads of vinyl in one go. Only cost me £3.50 for this one, Carbonized. Dare say it's quite a rare one, that one, because it's quite an underground band, Carbonized, wasn't they? Alright, then we come on to the Sickness. Oh, yeah, that is disgusting. Carcass, of course. Who else could be sick but Carcass when it comes to the seas? Symphonies of Sickness. Yeah, and inside, a collage of sickness. I remember looking at that in the shop. I think originally that was the outside cover, but I think they must have changed it for this one because they decided that was too sick for a cover. I remember I was in HMV or so looking at the cover and it was just all that stuff, and I was like, ugh, yeah, I'm not sure if I want to be bothered. It makes me feel quite ill looking at all that. Yeah, well, there you go. More Carcass, of course. Descanting the Insalubrious. Necroticism. There you go. Yeah, classic album, that one. And also, I didn't realise I had this one on vinyl, Heartwork. Heartwork on vinyl. I thought I had this on CD for some reason, but no. There is the vinyl of it. Right, and then you can't have a C without having some Cathedral. To be honest, I had the first album, the Gatefold first album. Is it the something Mirror? Ethereal Mirror? That's later on. That's this one, isn't it? I can't remember what the first. The Forest of Equilibrium, was it the first one? Yeah, Forest of Equilibrium. I had that on vinyl. Gatefold, I think. I swapped it with my mate. Because I wasn't really digging it. It was just like, it was too slow for me at the time, and I just like, oh, this is boring, can't be bothered with it. But as soon as this one came out, I was like, yeah. When I started playing the groovy stuff, I was like, yeah, yeah, I like this, man, this is cool. So yeah, classic little EP, that one. Soul Sacrifice. And then of course the second album, of the groovy, stonery, whatever you want to call it, style, The Ethereal Mirror. Classy art, kind of surreal, crazy stuff going on there in that picture. Good picture. Right, next we have Celtic Frost. There we go. Celtic Frost. Morbid Tales. There you go, the classic picture on the back there of the three guys. I think Martin Ains just died, didn't he, a little while ago? I believe it was him. Was it somebody else? Or, I don't know. Someone. Right, another Celtic Frost album. I think this is an EP actually. Emperor's Return. And looking at the amount of tracks on the back, I think it's an EP. 2 tracks on one side, 3 on the other. Good art though. Good sexy artwork, man. Right, more Celtic Frost. The gatefold. Is this into Megatherion, is it? Doesn't say on the cover, but I think that's the into Megatherion. Yeah, to Megatherion it says there. Yeah, to Megatherion, not into Megatherion, it's to Megatherion apparently. There we are, so more interesting art. Is that Geiger maybe? It looks like it could be Geiger. I think it's quite an interesting Geiger, isn't he? Old, what's his face? Tom G. Warrior. Wasn't he at a Geiger exhibition the other day when he got bloody jumped by some nutcase, had his arm broken? Anyway. Into the Pandemonium, that's why I'm saying into Megatherion. It's into the Pandemonium, this one. It's to Megatherion, but into the Pandemonium. There you go. So, not bad. Another gatefold, actually. Quite a few gatefold Celtic Frost there. I don't know if they're at all collectible. Maybe it was maybe they're all gatefold. They all came out as gatefold. I don't really know. Right then, this one. This is the one that I kind of upset Tom G. Warrior online, but I was talking about it. He was in someone else's thread, and he was talking about it. What a fucking nightmare it was. I said, at least you look good, at least you look pretty in the video. I said, or something like that, and he was like, yeah, very funny. Fuck off. Yes, it's the Cold Lake album, the overnight complete change of style that they adopted. What happened? What was they thinking of? What was that all about, Tom G? Or Thomas Gabriel, as you're now known on this record. Yeah, went from Tom G. Warrior to Thomas Gabriel, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, yeah, you make a better warrior than you do a blinking LA glamour puss. That's all I can say. Yeah, that's really weird. Yeah, never mind. Right, yeah, and then back to pretty decent stuff. Vanity Nemesis. It's getting too much flash on the old off the old light bulb there. There we are. It's pretty cool. And this, I think, this is what I traded with my mate. You know, I said I traded records with him. I gave him the first Cathedral album. I traded this picture disc interview with Tom G. Warrior. The Celtic Frost Story. I think it's a picture disc. Yeah. The Celtic Frost Story. With some side one, got 2 unreleased live recordings. Cherry Orchards. Into the Crypt of Rays. That's a good one. And side 2 is exclusive interview. Chris Tetley presents the Celtic Frost Story. And this is from 1989, this record. So I have no idea if that's collectible or if people are interested in that, but it's a picture disc. So yeah, it's not bad. Maybe I could have been better off with the first Cathedral album now that I've grown into it, but yeah, I've got it on CD now, so that's good enough. Right then, oh, more Celtic Frost. I forgot how many albums they are. This is Parched with Thirst, Am I and Dying. Very poetic. 2 brand new, 4 unreleased and 4 re-recorded tracks. And then we come to Cemetery, An Evil Shade of Grey. That's me, I'm grey. Look at my evil shade. Yeah, An Evil Shade of Grey. This is a weird sound on this one. It's got a really strange guitar sound, I find. It's like a really kind of, I don't know, buzzy kind of sound to it. And then after this, they went kind of gothic-y, doom death-y kind, which is much better, to be honest, actually. The second album there, I can't remember what it's called now, but I think it was my favourite one of theirs. This one's okay, quite death metal, but the second one was cool. They started going a bit more gothic, a bit more doomy, and it was really good. And then after that, they kind of went too doomy, too gothic, and they went shit again. But that's just my opinion, obviously. Just my opinion. Right, more UK stuff. Cerebral Fix, or Cerebral Fix. You say cerebral, I say cerebral. Let's call the whole thing off. Whatever. Yeah, so Tower of Spite. Classic UK. Are they deaf or are they thrash or are they deaf thrash? Who knows? I've heard them called deaf, I've heard them called thrash. This is Bastards by Celtic Frost again. Quite unusual because that's actually got their logo on it. They've got no logo on the front of the album, just did a little sticker in the corner. Quite a strange Interesting idea, that, I suppose. I wonder if that affected their sales by not having the logo on it. I don't know. Right, more Cerebral Fix. Death Erotica. I've got a t-shirt of this somewhere, still fits me. Quite a nice shirt, actually. Quite like it. Cerebral Fix. Right then we have Ceremonial Oath. I could just about make out the logo. I was lucky I remember the band's name. Yeah, Ceremonial Oath. This is called The Book of Truth. Quite a good album from what I recall of it. I'd probably listened to it for ages. I should really get it up on the old stereo and give it a listen. Or what I should do is rip it and play a track on my podcast. That'd be quite cool, like I do with my demo tapes. Right, oh yeah, more classic British stuff. This is Cloven Hoof, new wave of British heavy metal. This is a really cool album. I'm not sure, I think this singer might have been on an early release or so, but on this he's really cool, the singer from this band, but he left after this album, which is a shame because he really rocks it. And there's tracks on here. I remember when saw him a couple of times, I kept saying to him, why don't you bloody do Cloven Hoof? I think it was the self-titled track they didn't do. They're the one with it's got like a magical ritual kind of halfway through, Echo Echo Azarath, and that kind of thing. Real fucking kick-ass song. They never used to play it live, and every time I saw it I said, why don't you play that track, why don't you play that track? And they kept saying, oh yeah, we're going to bring it back into the set list. I don't know if they ever did, but I've not seen them for a long time now. Hopefully I'll get to see him again at some point. There was a lot of things when they changed their vocalist, not from that one, but after him they had Russ North, and he was there for a long while. He was a cool vocalist, and they had a couple of controversial choices for vocalist after that, I believe. But anyway, so more Cloven Hoof. Dominator. My camera ran out of bloody world memory, so I had to reshoot the show. In case when he won a camera language, something changed. Yeah, but Dominator, that was a cool bloody album. I saw this at the Marquee on that tour. 89, I think, with Lisa Dominique, I think was the support. Some rock chick who wasn't really very good. Not for me anyway. Not my cup of tea. Right, finally, Cloven Hoof, Sultan's Ransom. I think by then I was getting into heavier music, and to be honest, this one didn't really grab me. But Dominator was cool. Cloven Hoof self-titled album, awesome. Comic Con. I actually played these on my show. This album actually. I played it on my 250 podcast, my most recent podcast, number 250. I played a track off of this. So the randomizer chose it. So make sure you listen to my podcast, by the way. Every Sunday, High Speed Hangover podcast. Normally at least 2 hours of metal, sometimes over 3 hours because I get carried away. Number 249 was over 5 hours for one show. Yeah, so check out my podcast. Comic Con, a bloody cool band. It started off, it was LG Petrov on vocals on this one, and then Martin Van Dranen took over for the second and third album. Apparently there was a fourth album originally intended, but it didn't get made in the end because the Century Media lost interest in them, so they decided to split up. Shame. Right, I have got the other stuff of theirs on CD. That's the word. Convulse. Convulse album. I think it's not coming where they're from. Are they France? Finland. Finnish. They're Finnish band. Convulse. World Without God, this album. Got a CD of theirs as well, which is I enjoyed more than that actually. Can't remember much about that album. But this is in the days when I was buying loads of stuff, and you know, you'd go out once you got paid your wages, you go out to the shop, see what you could pick up, listen to it and if it didn't grab you straight away, like then chances were by the next month come along, you'd go out and buy some more stuff, and you know, you'd end up have to listen to new stuff, and you'd lose track of what you bought the month before. And back in the day, I used to make compilation tapes. All my records, I used to compile them all into like cassettes. So I listened to them on my Walkman. So. And that album, can't say I really recall much about it, to be honest. Right, Coroner, no, can't forget about those guys. Swiss Thrash Trio, bloody awesome band. This is a great album, R.I.P. And there's fucking nothing but cool tracks on this one. A lot of people love their later stuff where they got a bit more technical, but I prefer the early, more ripping stuff. Some of the later stuff to me is a bit too convoluted. I prefer you straight in your face thrashing, you know. Right, so you got R.I.P. You got Punishment for Decadence, and then you have No More Colour. There you go. I've tried to reenact the cover for you. And then Mental Vortex, yeah, Mental Vortex. Yeah, that's when it started getting a bit more technically weird for my liking. It wasn't so much my cup of tea when I did that. Oh yeah, and then Grin. Grin was like, didn't make me grin at all. Grin made me grimace. It was far from my favourite Coroner album, put it that way. I know a lot of people like the later stuff, but to me, I prefer more in your face. Right, we've only got a few more to go. Right, let's have a look. Crematory. A doomy, death, kind of keyboard heavy band. I quite like them though. I've got a couple of their albums. They're quite catchy. There was a bit of controversy recently. They was kind of like threatening their fans, buy our albums or we're going to split up, kind of thing. Because I think there were, you know, so much stuff is getting digitally downloaded now, like normally illegally, that bands are just struggling to make ends meet, to sort of think to themselves, why bother carrying on? We're not getting any money out of it. We're losing hand over fist. If people want to, you know, support us, then please support us. I think that's what they were trying to say. But a lot of people were slagging them off for making comments. But no, I say good luck to them. Hopefully people did go out and buy it and the band didn't feel that they were undervalued, you know. But as so often is, people want things for nothing, don't they? Alright, so that's one Crematory album. There's another Crematory album. Just Dreaming. And then what else do we have here? Oh yeah, Crusher. Crusher, a kind of French Napalm Death, kind of political, angled, grindy death metal. They're kind of like Napalm Death, to be honest. Quite cool, not bad at all actually. Crusher. Got a couple of albums. Another one I've got another one of theirs on CD as well. Right, and finally for my C's, Cynic. Gaia. Is this one Gaia? No, Focus. Did Gaia come later? I thought I had that album, but maybe not. And to be honest, Cynic was one of those bands that their bass player, was it Choi or something? He was guesting in all these other bands, all these other classic Florida death metal bands. He was doing guests for them when they couldn't get a bass player. And so everyone was thinking, wow, he's a really cool bass player. This album's going to be awesome when it comes out. It's going to be like massively, you know, heavy death metal or whatever. It wasn't. It's like jazzy, technically. And it was like, oh, to me, it's one of the biggest disappointments. I think it's because it wasn't what I expected it to be, that's all. I think there's a lot of people who fucking love this album because it's technical as fuck. And, you know, people who enjoy a bit of fretboard wankery in their metal probably fucking love this. But to me, it was a bit dull. You know, too much fucking arsing going on to be, you know, my cup of tea. I prefer a bit more fucking brutal going on. It's like Death, for example. I prefer the early Death. Pinnacle for me of Death, well, I should be telling you this when I get to D, shouldn't I? Is Spiritual Healing, because it's the perfect mix of brutality and beautiful playing, which I call Brutality. See? But this is just like... Yeah, that's my review. Alright, so that's all the C's of my vinyl. Feel free to disagree or agree. Comment below, what should I have amongst the C's that I haven't got? What am I missing out? What have I said wrong here in this little roundup of my C's? Am I completely incorrect with my, you know, thoughts on these albums? Obviously, I'm not incorrect, it's just my opinion. But what is your opinion on any of this stuff? Check out the blog. Other stuff coming up tomorrow. I've got the demo section, them old tapes, where I'll be digging through my demo tapes and giving you some access to an old demo basically. And then Thursday got Free Metal Show, where I give you free downloads. You can go and download for free of some cool bands. And of course every Sunday, High Speed Hangover Podcast. Make sure you tune into that. Yeah, it's all up on the blog. You can watch any of the old shows on there. And yeah, my Patreon's there as well if you want to help a guy out. Please. Fucking wanker. Alright, I'm off. I'll be back soon.